Ever since the release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's teaser trailer and its teaser trailer number 2 over at Star Wars Celebration and D23, a lot of fans have been very excited of the full trailer for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker that would truly give fans an overall sense of the tone of this movie and exactly where J.J. Abrams is going to bring the fans to the very end of the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film, of course, is going to be a revelation film with many different twists and turns that will lead to many different saga-wide implications within the Skywalker saga. And that's the exciting thing about this movie, is to see exactly how J.J. Abrams is going to utilize all of the different connections to the prequels and the originals, etc. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to various shot descriptions of the upcoming trailer 3 of Episode 9, this is where things begin to get very exciting for this movie. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's said that both Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting on the Death Star wreckage, where it's explained that they are both fighting with opposite lightsabers, where Kylo is holding Rey's saber and Rey is using Kylo's crossguard. As part of the wreckage is described to begin to separate from the main piece of wreckage of the Death Star, where one of the sequences shows Rey holding on to the edge of a piece of metal. The sequence is actually explained to be very dramatic, teasing of how intense the lightsaber battles in the film will really be. The next describes a sequence in which Rey is said to be meditating in a cave of some kind with a holocron, where as she meditates with the holocron, the voices of Anakin, Obi-Wan, Luke, and Yoda are heard in the background, as well as Palpatine, followed by brand new Palpatine dialogue that is said to be very creepy to the audience, talking about the dark side of the Force. The holocron appears to be a Sith holocron and indicates that it's Palpatine's in the film. The last describes a sequence in which both Rey and Kylo Ren are standing next to each other in fear, where a shadow is said to lift up from some kind of throne, followed by Palpatine's voice once again. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a very complex movie. It's going to have a lot of callbacks to the originals and the prequels, as well as using a lot of Star Wars Legends content in order to really make a very unique story. Now, mind you, we do know that George Lucas was heavily involved with, of course, all the rewrites of this movie for the second and third acts of Episode 9 in late 2018, and used a lot of his abandoned ideas from Return of the Jedi and, of course, The Empire Strikes Back and more to use that material in Episode 9 properly. So the first piece that I do want to go over that sounds very intense is how both Rey and Kylo Ren are described to be using opposite lightsabers while they are fighting on board of the Death Star wreckage. Now, we're still not quite sure exactly what world this takes place on. From what it seems, it could absolutely be the forest moon of Endor, since given that on the forest moon of Endor there's 8% water. And that could very well explain as to why we have the Death Star wreckage on there, and also why it's in the middle of the ocean. So, with that being said, this particular scenario is said to involve where both Rey and Kylo Ren are using opposite sabers, fighting each other to the death, where it eventually leads to a moment where Rey is hanging on the edge of a piece of metal, a piece of wreckage, if you will. So that's telling us of how intense these battles are really going to be and how dramatic they really are going to be in the film by JJ between both Rey and Kylo Ren. The thing that gets me a lot here, that's really making me wonder of what's going on, is where we have a moment in which both Rey and Kylo Ren are said to be standing next to each other, where they are said to appear as if they are in fear, looking at a shadow rising from a throne, followed by Palpatine's dialogue talking about the dark side of the Force. Now, what's really intriguing about that is that this most certainly could very well tell us that this is either in the form of a vision, or there is literally going to be a brand new throne room for Palpatine in The Rise of Skywalker at some point in time in Star Wars Episode 9. So, the thing about Palpatine is that, yes, we do know that Ian McDiarmid is back, which is great. I think that's a fantastic thing that JJ did. You know, bringing back the man who portrayed this character for so very long now is going to be the very center of this movie. I mean, he's on the main poster, of all things. So, with that being said, Palpatine really is the key to everything here, and I'm very happy that they are promoting him, not just in the form of just a little tease here and there, but they're also throwing in a lot more dialogue in order to fully understand exactly what he's actually going to be like in Episode 9. We got a little snippet of dialogue of him in the second teaser trailer where he says, you know, your journey nears its end. So there's more to be told about all of this. The last piece that I do want to go over is, of course, where we have the very moment in which Rey is actually said to be meditating with the Sith holocron. Once again, this is where more Palpatine dialogue is introduced. So we do know that Palpatine's Sith holocron is going to be a part of this film in some way, shape, or form. It's all a matter of how it's going to be executed. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.